Yeah. Yeah. Life. Can't bring the horns in.
Taking in the moment. And see what tomorrow brings. Too less to stress the BS, but don't get carried away.
It's been too long.
It's a new day. And a new me. New day. I said it's a new day. And a new me.
Ain't lying. Catch them. These horns making me leaner towards my southern dialect, Trick Daddy and Trina. Collide with them beach colladas, first name Pina. Head big as Gina's, used to get high as Ina. Now I'm cool, sipping my coffee light on the creamers. Run with dreamers, never zeros, Gilbert arenas. That's just a play on words, I don't know that man's demeanor. I just heard it was the opposite of that of Serena's. George ran the cleaners with pressing irons and steamers. Life is all about them good times, dodging subpoenas, misdemeanors. Never had none. Give me some wood to knock on. You clocked in, I clocked out. Long as our clocks tick on. I will never judge how you get it, get it. Ain't too many out who can outspit it. They love to holler facts, well, these are them. Say you heard of Jaws of Life, well, I am him.
Taking in the moment and see what tomorrow brings. Too less to stress the BS, but don't get carried away. It's a new day. And a new me. New day. I said it's a new day.
CC.
And a new me.
They asked, life you still RAP? I said I just made an atheist holler OMG. So you tell me, I believe I'm years from my press conference. Plus I still got some peers working on my sponsor. Ship nip tuck if I have to. That was a white lie. Life don't even do no plastic. They wanted bars, so I gave them cheers. Admit I've been wrong at times, like putting the S on the end of deer. I was in the mall, I saw the end of Sears, but it's a bright beginning. Veneers on New Year's, ideas, the wheels turn. Shot a text to Sherm, cause he always checks in with the music, he really uses it. It's a plant-based diet when I don't keep quiet. The only retired I've done is a used tire. Are you tired? Cause I'm full of spunk. Kinda get noticed in traffic now, I might get one or two humps.
Taking in the moment and see what tomorrow brings. Too less to stress the BS, but don't get carried away. It's a new day and a new me. I said it's a new day and a new me.
Excuse me, miss, but beg your pardon. Baby, where your mister? I'm just trying to get to know and maybe then get with ya. So let's say we party and pour a little liquor, Calypso and Bacardi. I hope you like the mixture. I don't know your man, but hope he get the picture. He don't want no problems, he don't wanna risk it. I'm just trying to get to know and maybe then get with ya. So let's say we party and pour a little liquor. Baby, beg your pardon, I'm just trying to get you naughty. Baby, have you ever partied on Calypso and Bacardi? Baby, I don't know you hardly, but I swear that it's your body got me feeling hella hardly. I can see you riding shoddy, prototype, it ain't no copies. I ain't worried about your man, he ain't shit because he not me. You should probably come around and knock it down and leave you not neat. You should probably come around and knock it down and leave you. Excuse me, miss, but beg your pardon. Baby, where your mister? I'm just trying to get to know and maybe then get with ya. So let's say we party and pour a little liquor, Calypso and Bacardi. Y'all hope you like the mixture. I don't know your man, but hope he get the picture. He don't want no problems, he don't wanna risk it. I'm just trying to get to know and maybe then get with ya. So let's say we party and pour a little liquor. I got my eyes on your body, I wanna see you get naughty. Got me fiending hella hardly like some lean crack or some Molly. Didn't I see you at Follies? Haven't been there in a while, but I remember getting wild. And again, could have been cheetahs or maybe it was neither. Doesn't matter where I see ya, cause right now I'm trying to meet you. Trying to see you dropping panties like it's Annie's in a leader. Baby, you might be your keeper, hope your man ain't trying to reach ya. Excuse me, miss, but beg your pardon. Baby, where your mister? I'm just trying to get to know and maybe then get with ya. So let's say we party and pour a little liquor, Calypso and Bacardi. Y'all hope you like the mixture. I don't know your man, but hope he get the picture. He don't want no problems, he don't wanna risk it. I'm just trying to get to know and maybe then get with ya. So let's say we party and pour a little liquor. Excuse me, miss, but beg your pardon. Baby, where your mister? I'm just trying to get to know and maybe then get with ya. So let's say we party and pour a little liquor, Calypso and Bacardi. Y'all hope you like the mixture. I don't know your man, but hope he get the picture. He don't want no problems, he don't wanna risk it. I'm just trying to get to know and maybe then get with ya. So let's say we party and pour a little liquor. Mixed emotions blend as the feelings follow the latest trends. How can you trust something as rare as true love to the advice of fair weather friends? The same friends that pressure for good measure and brag about empty, intimate pleasures and drag pain around like bags of precious treasure, then paint colorful euphemisms on designer denim, then pretend to be birds of the same feather, tethered to the past changes, never welcomed, at least never fast. If the man or woman in your dreams walked in right now, they do everything they could to wake your ass. Like, don't trust it, you trippin', you mustn't. Since they never found true love, they encourage you to just continue lusting. See, hustling was a major trade, but somehow love is the power that we gave up. Despised by the very weakness, symbols over the chicest. Hell, even the bleakest of futures find hope in the thought of it ever becoming real. Let's face it, we've all searched high and low and in the wrong places. Turned from and did about faces. Lost ourselves in without traces and seemed to have lost little pieces of our souls to every perfect inclination of before they fell from our graces. They make statements like, you should be friends first, but that's usually said by friends first. And most of the time it's friends that are used to soothe hurt, and it's friends that help to match that jaded past that we've all woven like patchwork. I guess love, or life for that matter, never came with a scratch sheet. Maybe it's the eyes that lead to deceit as we first look for physical beauty. Or possibly it's the mythical feet like unicorns, leprechauns, and pixies. Or unethical dreams with no real place in reality. Then, bam, it hits you again with a smug and a devilish grin. Nothing left to do now but give in and let those mixed emotions blend. Cause maybe it was never love to be feared to begin. Simply limitations on the possibility of finding true love due to the petty fears of fair weather friends. a vow, draped in a kingly shroud. I dream aloud, proud. It's the damn blood. Sweat, tears, years, chewing this damn cud. For the love I endure pain, you can see the strain on my face. If it's a race, where's the finish line? Any given time, my nomenclature is criticized. Be it jive, be it jazz, I strive to be truly alive at last. In a world of mask and rhinoplasty, where raspberry is the color of my therapy, and blasphemy is the context of my theory. Peering into a world where reality blends and ain't no galaxy end, where fallacies begin. How many prayers have I sent trying to make amends? The burden I carry cements down this road of perdition, breaking the speed limit, limited to my own imagination. Our imaginations of native tongues that sing to the sun, and with the moon they hum plum color melody. Melody sung eloquently. I can hear the voices of the angels and the voices of the elders telling me, telling my soul to guard its shelter. An old soul lost, sold off. Knowing this road leads to coffins often. I wonder if the blunder is the money spell we're all under. Frozen in time like the tundra on the soldier's field. Dying in a quiet peace. Is there no relief? Nature pain, replacing beauty with concrete. Our Savior shows no favor as I walk on palm leaves. How many prayers have I sent trying to make amends? The burden I carry's immense. Down this road of perdition, breaking the speed limit, limited to my own imagination.
In fact, I would say musicians are supposed to be God's harmony department. But most of the time they're in discord and they're in disharmony and they become commercial minded. But actually music is what's supposed to keep people inspired, keep them seeing this invisible beauty of the mind and spirit. That's what music is for.
To articulate art may be an impossibility. With futility, humility drums, the drum calls, the spirit follows. If allowed, I'll enter in, welcomed by cherubims. Colors blend, the pain seems to never end. Shades of purple haze is the color that the bruise displays. Unfazed by the violet light, the memory still ignites old flames like pilot lights. My inner pilot sights, my inner eye flying through night skies like satellites. Smoking pipe dreams packed with life scenes, the old wise told of the aroma of grandpa's oak tobacco pipe. The smoke makes it hazy, hard to see my way and keep my eyes on the pavement. Head in the clouds and feet firmly on the pavement. Cradle to the grave, from the ladle to the gravy. Direct sons doing father shady, while dad's making other sons with other ladies. And baby's gotta eat, baby ain't even got teeth. And older brother's stomach still growling while he living on the street. Who's to blame? Never been acclaimed, critically claimed properly as the remains of a slave chain property. Possibly the corrupted fruit of a rotten seed. Never fell too far from Johnny Appletree. Dead on arrival, the cycle completes. Lord, will I fail or succeed? These are the fears that I bereave. Placed in a state of perpetual definition of race and my sexual orientation, wrapped and neatly packaged in a worse financial situation. My crime was being traded below the Mason-Dixon line. Dropped off a half a mile from heaven trying to hitch a ride. Pride went out the window long time ago. Crying for the chariot to swing low. Dead on arrival, the cycle completes. Lord, will I fail or succeed? These are my fears I bereave. These are my fears that I bereave.
Yo, 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 yo.
Mario and Dreddy, Mario and Dreddy.
It's the
I just live that fast paced life. I'm Mario and Dreddy. Smoking on that Cali, on that gas, they stuck with medics. Been on this liquor, but I don't know where I'm headed. I'm like Mario and Dreddy, Mario and Dreddy. I just live that fast paced life. I'm Mario and Dreddy. Smoking on that Cali, on that gas, they stuck with medics. Been on this liquor, but I don't know where I'm headed. I'm like Mario and Dreddy, Mario and Dreddy. I just live that fast-paced life. I'm Mario Andretti. My name be in these streets, and I bet you don't forget it. I'm just out my noodle, and my brain be on spaghetti. I'm like Mario Andretti, Mario Andretti. Sipping on some liquor, and I'm smoking on some heady. I beep out my paper, and I'm stacking up my fatty. My pants be always sagging, cause my pockets extra heavy. I'm like Mario Andretti, Mario Andretti. I just live that fast-paced life. I'm Mario Andretti. Smoking on that Cali, I'm not gonna stay stuck with medics. Sick on this liquor, but I don't know where I'm headed. I'm like Mario Andretti, Mario Andretti. I just live that fast-paced life. I'm Mario Andretti. Smoking on that Cali, I'm not gonna stay stuck with medics. Sick on this liquor, but I don't know where I'm headed. I'm like
Animal in the city. Madagascar, I stopped at Texaco just to gas on my go. I have more sex in the city than Carrie Bradshaw. I'm ballin' on the top. Terry Bradshaw, Mario Andretti. Since Detroit, man, we been ready. I blow that stupid, that's it and Eddie. My weed don't whisper, you roll that rock steady. I'm all at the party just like some confetti. Blowing that loud, sound like engines revving. Boom, high as the moon. Yeah, I'm rolling, you ain't gotta assume. Cloud like
Mario
DM
Andretti,
SideStreet Care, Instagram.
I just live that fast-paced life. I'm Mario Andretti. Smoking on that Cali, I'm not gonna stay stuck with medics. Big on this liquor, but I don't know where I'm headed. I'm like
Rest in peace to Good Trias.
Mario Andretti. I just live that fast-paced life. I'm Mario Andretti. Smoking on that Cali, I'm not gonna stay stuck with medics. Big on this liquor, but I don't know where I'm headed. I'm like
riding in my Chevy like Mario Andretti. I'm riding
Rest in
through the
peace,
ride
Good.
and I'm fucking up them levies. I'm geeked up about them things. I'm so turned up like I'm Eddie. I'm blowing, trying to
Gonna take a
blow it,
shot
trying to
one
jump
time.
shit, eat spaghetti. Think this is my nigga, this ain't Tommy Jerry. I don't fuck with riches cause them pussy niggas petty. Yo, man, bitch look like Jason, this like girlfriend lit like Freddy. So I'ma peel out on
What's
y'all, throw
happening
that
out there,
H out, y'all
man?
let
You out there? I see you out there.
Mario Andretti.
Drop a comment, say what's up, where you at, whatever. Give a shout out or something.
Like I'm Mario Andretti. Smoking on that Cali, I'm not gonna stay stuck with medics. Big on this liquor, but I don't know where I'm headed. I'm like Mario Andretti, Mario Andretti. I just live that fast-paced life. I'm Mario Andretti. Smoking on that Cali, I'm not gonna stay stuck with medics. Big on this liquor, but I don't know where I'm headed. I'm like
Yeah, we up in here. We up in here. What's happening out there? IG, Facebook land. All that music we was just listening to, that's just different stuff. That's on my SideStreet Care radio. You can check that out on Instagram or whatever. Yeah, they talking about some shit about broadcasting music or something. It's my music. Why I can't broadcast it? They always be doing that to me. I'm gonna keep playing it. It's like that's how we get paid from streaming. You know what I mean? We get paid when the music streams. Like people don't really download music no more. You know, I guess I do get some downloads here, but not like people don't buy music like they used to, like how I used to sell music. Now it's all about streaming. I stream on different platforms, Pandora and Spotify and iHeart Radio and what else? Tidal and Apple Music, all the stuff they pay me, right? And YouTube pays me. But when I try to stream my music for like my fans to be able to tap into, listen, stuff like that, the same way, you know, commercial radio sells their music, you know what I mean? Sells like corporate music. It's the same thing. Then it's like they want to flag me and penalize me for using my music that I distributed. How does that work? Like, how come all my shit's not linked up? Like, it should be. It's all linked up on paper. That's how y'all are tracking it. You know what I mean? You see, it's my YouTube page I'm doing it on, or it's my Facebook I'm doing it on, or it's my Instagram I'm doing it on, and y'all still flagging my music. Like, that doesn't make sense. It seems like you're just trying to make it more difficult for me to be able to stream music, which it doesn't make sense. Why can't I do that? How come I can't have a YouTube page where, you know what I mean, I'm showing all kind of stuff. I'm showing my videos, I'm showing this, that, and the third. You know what I mean? So what's the difference? I stream my music on it, tell people, hey, go listen to it on my platform. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's kind of like what I want to talk to my guest tonight about. You know what I mean? I got DJ Lab coming in tonight from from Westside Misfits. And basically what Westside Misfits is, and I'm gonna let him really explain it and all of that kind of stuff. But you know, it's a radio station. It's a online platform. They have radio shows. They have shows like I've been on there before. I DJ'd on a show, I believe, and I think even a while back I did an interview on there some years ago. But my music plays on there, you know, and it counts as my streams, and I get paid for it. I get BDS spins and all kind of different stuff like that. So, you know, I kind of just want to pick his brain a little bit about how he got into it, how he set it up, the ins and outs in it, you know, that kind of stuff. Like, I think that'd be cool. Shit, I'm still trying to figure all of this little streaming shit out, so y'all might have to bear with me. But I'm gonna call him up on my FaceTime and bring him on my live, you know what I mean, and chop it up with him. And I don't want to take too long because we had really scheduled this like earlier, like we running late, you know what I mean. And at this point, I'm kind of probably lagging along, so I'm gonna just get to it. But yeah, man, let me see if I can get him up on here real quick. Like, these computers that make you go through a whole lot to do the simple stuff. Yeah, man, my bad. Taking forever. Alright. Let's see if we can get him on here. I'm gonna see if I can get him to DJ or something. Like, he might be in the studio.
What's going on?
Yes, sir. What's happening?
Not much. I can't call it.
That's what's up. All right, so, yeah, I'm about to try and get you in here real quick.
Okay.
Right? Just give me 1 second. I'm gonna bring you on live. Yeah, here we go. All right, let's see. I'm still new to this. My bad.
No worries.
My bad.
No worries.
All right, so that and then. How come I ain't seeing it? Oh shit, it's huge. Oh damn. Yeah, man. I'm glad you came on the show though, man. Like, this is dope.
Anytime. You know, when I got the time, I'll try to slide in and watch people's live and do what I can. You know, support the culture.
Yeah, this is all new to me right here. I'm just kind of, starting it out. This is my 7th episode.
Oh, okay.
Will be my 7th episode.
You gotta try it. Then if you don't know, you won't know if you like it until you try it, right?
Yeah, I definitely like it. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to get better at it. That's all. You know what I mean? And just basically like people. I think that it's a lot of people that feel, I don't know, because I'm not really going after like celebrity so-called, like,
right.
I'm really looking for people that's really in the culture, that's really doing stuff, that's like, you know what I mean?
I get you.
That's out here making it happen every day. Like, that's the kind of vibe I'm on.
Oh, okay.
And I can't even tell if this is getting smaller or what's going on. Try to do it this way.
If you're using OBS, you got to go in them settings on that screen, go to the properties, and hit the video and make it whatever size it is, like 320 times 240 or something like that.
For real? Oh.
Yeah, or 320 by 360, something like that. If that's what you're using.
I'm using OBS. I don't even know how
Yeah.
to do this. So,
And what you doing? What you doing? Video capture or screen capture?
Yeah, window capture. And
Window
then,
capture.
So what I gotta go to defaults?
Click on the window. Click on when it's red around the window.
Yeah.
Right. Click on that. Then right click it. It should say properties down at the bottom.
Ah, okay.
And then you click on the properties. Then you should be able to adjust the size of the video.
Okay.
It should say video. Hold on, let me pull mine up real quick. But I believe that's how you do it.
Yeah, I pulled up that screen, but it took me to kind of something else. So.
Hold on, let me see. I got my OBS up too, but I was doing something else with it. And when you get it real big like that, it's hard to tell if it's getting smaller when you're trying to pull them arrows together.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like kind of weird. I think it's getting smaller, but yeah, it is. It's getting smaller.
Okay.
All right, I got it.
Okay.
Hold on. Yeah, there we go. All right. Now we in there.
Okay.
And we live.
Okay.
Good to go. Alright. So yeah, man, what's up, man? Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I really do. Thanks for having me, kid. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no doubt. So, like, before you came on, I gave like a little background as to who you was and stuff like that, and about the radio station and everything. But I kind of want you to really, go ahead and do it yourself, basically. Like, let us know, like, break it down.
Oh, okay. Well, we're Misfits Radio and TV now, but we started as a show. we started as Westside Misfits radio show on another platform, and then we moved from that platform and started thinking, well, why can't we start our own? Because the way that person was doing it wasn't necessarily a great way to help the independent artists, DJs, poets, and all those things. So we decided to start our own, and we just called it Misfits Radio. Okay. Well, in the process of doing Misfits Radio, we just added a Roku channel. So now it's Misfits Radio TV, where we live stream audio, video, Instagram, all that stuff, all at the same time. So when you're interviewing with us, or whatever's going on, everything that you hear and see on video and audio on the radio station is going on all at the same time. So it's all live. There's no video uploads later on. It's all live. So whatever happens. You get what I'm saying? So we try to make sure that we stay in touch with the up and coming artists. We really don't do celebrities. We just do up and coming artists, and we mean artists of all spectrums, visual and audio, painters, anything that we can get, and any artist that wants to come here, book writers, authors, all that. We have like 7 shows a week, separate shows, inspirational show, kind of a blog show where they do stuff about the community, financial show, family show, comedian show. We have a You High Yet podcast, which is mostly weed based and plant, herb based show, and then we have our show, which is Westside Misfits show. So we do those shows 7 days a week. Then we have another show called the Shanny Jackman Show. We just started that show just recently. So we have a bunch of shows. We have a bunch of things that we're trying to do in order to help the indie artists come up and coming indie artists, get exposure, gain exposure any way we can.
Okay, and then how do you listen to it?
Well, you listen to it on Live 365. Just go live, download the Live 365 app, and pick Misfits Radio, or you can listen to it on our website on misfitsmediagroup.net. We have that. Also, our shows stream live on the website as well. So those are 2 ways you can listen to it.
Okay, nice. All right, so another thing I wanted to kind of ask, and that's funny you said that, because I remember, I don't know if y'all remember, but I remember doing that show, y'all show Westside Misfits, before you had the like a long time ago though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember. Once you own the show, you family. So we remember that.
Yeah, definitely. That was.
I still got the video where you played the guitar for us.
I'm talking about. I did a show before that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did a show before that on when y'all were on another platform, when it was just a radio show.
Okay, yeah. Now, probably before that, I wasn't there at the beginning. I didn't come in until towards the end, so I probably wasn't there then.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I can't say I remember her name off top, but I know it was a girl that interviewed me.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Probably Miss Mix-a-Lot. She's been here from the beginning. Donna, Miss Mix-a-Lot, maybe, and then maybe Tay Mack was here for a while. So maybe one of those. Those are 2 ladies that we have.
Yes. Okay. So
that does
Miss Mix-a-Lot.
Yeah, she's like the CEO of our company, because she's such an outgoing person. She knows a lot of people, so it most likely was her, because she does interviews and she does all of our interviews and scheduling and stuff like that. So
okay, yeah. This is a while. This is a while ago. Yeah. When I came back and played the guitar and everything, that was ill. Yeah, we had a nice session that day.
Right. We had the guys over on the couch rapping with your guitar. That was fly right there.
Yeah,
that was a good memory.
Yeah, I remember that. That was cool.
Right.
What's up? So okay. So what I was trying to figure out too is what did it take to get started in the first place? Was it a lot of work, or what did you have to go through?
Well, to get started, it just took the will to figure out how to do everything. People think it's easy to do, but it takes a lot of time and understanding of audio and all that stuff, how to get the audio right. And when you're doing audio and video at the same time, through different systems and platforms. You got to learn all that stuff. And I'm still learning. I've been doing it for a while, but I got it down to a little bit of a science. But if one little glitch happens and I can't figure out what's going on, it's a problem. So it takes a lot of time. It really takes a lot of research. You got to know what platform you want to use, what you're looking to do. Especially the sound is very important. If the sound don't sound right, people won't listen to you. So it's just a matter of that, how you want to go about getting the indie artists on, getting their music to you. Just things of that nature is just and that takes a will and a motivation to keep going, because for a long time you don't make any money doing this. I mean, we've been doing it for 5 years. We haven't made any money doing it, but we feel like we're gonna turn that corner eventually. Once the sponsorship happens, but that takes time because as you know, in Atlanta, everybody starts a radio station every day. So
yeah, it's a lot of radio stations. Not a lot of listeners to go around, I don't think.
Right.
But there are some I feel like hold a lot of weight. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a lot of radio stations that we're all kind of trying to get the same people. The indie artists, you get what I'm saying? We're all trying to get the same people, which is fine. I don't knock anybody for wanting to do whatever they want to do as far as the radio station is concerned. But you do have to evolve from that because you see that there's so many of them coming along. You got to figure out another niche, and our other niche was to add the Roku channel and Fire Stick stuff to it. So that helps us out a lot because now we can also offer the artists to upload their videos. There are visuals to our platform instead of having to go on YouTube to watch. They can go on Roku and click on our thing and watch it on the TV. You get what I'm saying? So we're offering that as well. So you got to find certain niches in order to get things going. And if you don't have the will and the inspiration to keep going, you won't do it. It's hard work. I work a regular job. Then I get off my regular job and I do this, and I may not go to bed till 3 o'clock in the morning, but I have to get up for my regular job at 6. So on a regular basis, I may get 3 or 4 hours a day. That's the dedication.
What do you do as your regular job?
I work for the government. I don't want to say where.
Okay, I got you. No, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, I work for the government.
Just to know, it's an official job. Like it's not just some side hustle. Yeah,
it's a job with benefits and insurance and 401ks and all that.
Right. Got you.
But that's the thing. People don't realize that if you have to work that regular job. I work my regular job in order to help fund my dreams. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes people want to quit and don't want to work the regular job, but I'll do the regular job because I still gonna need insurance. I may get hurt, something may happen. I may get sick. I may need to go to the hospital, so I need to have insurance. But also, I can use these funds to help pay for my bills for one, but also to help forward my dreams, help me buy things that we need. We need new microphones, we need new screen covers, we need new cords, we always need something new. I just bought 5 new 4K cameras. We need those things we need. So we have to fund those things. So working a regular job helps me to move my dream forward. Right.
And so, speaking of like buying equipment and stuff, what kind of equipment do you use in your setup?
As far as for the radio station itself?
Yeah.
For the radio station now, I use I try to find the best, cheapest stuff. Like my stuff is like I have a Behringer mixer. Those are the cheaper kinds. But those are
I actually like those. That's what I have.
Yeah. Behringer mixer is good quality. They last a long time, and you can get that when you buy from like Guitar Center. They'll give you a 3 or 4 year warranty on it. If something breaks, you can get So I recommend people do that. But there's no like you got to have this. People try to sell you most expensive stuff, of course, but you have to find what's best for you and what you make is better, what you can afford. People got to stay within their budget. That's the kicker. You have to stay within your budget in order for what you can find some good stuff within your budget. It may take you, instead of flipping 2 pages to find something, you may have to flip 10 pages and find it. But it's there. You just gotta use. I go to a place called Dirt Cheap Music. It's in Marietta, and sometimes they sell used stuff. They'll have used. they may have a used mix that's $1,500 new. It may be gently scratched or something, and it may be $400. You get what I'm saying? So people you gotta just know what you can afford, how you can get it, and go about it. And all that does takes a research. Research is the biggest thing. So I don't say like, oh, I gotta have this mic, or oh, I gotta have that camera, or I gotta have this. No, I get what's the best, what's not the best, but what's the cheapest for me and my budget. And if I use it and it doesn't sound right, then I'll replace it. I'll be like, okay, I can't use that one. That's not good. And I'll get something a little bit up. But I'm not going to go straight to the top because the top may not be what I need. I may need the middle. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So everybody has to find what they need. You know, I see people doing these shows, radio shows. They got gold mics and all that old stuff. And, yeah, that's cool. You know, but your $40 gold mic don't sound just as good as my $20. They're going to sound the same.
Yeah.
When they do that board, so
yeah. If you like me, I'm an equipment junkie. Like you know what I mean. So like I'll go and low out at like Guitar Center. I go to all the music stores. You know what I mean. I low out. I like to try stuff, see how this work and what this does. And I'm not really. I tell people all the time, like, because I'm a producer as well. You know what I mean. So people will come to me and ask, you know, what kind of drum machine you use, or what kind of drum machine you think I should get, or what's better. I'm like, man, it ain't no better. I can use anything that's out there, as well as I can have my own preference of. It kind of depends on what I feel like doing at that time. You know what I mean?
Right, I get you.
And some things are just set up different for different people. I think that. Like, for instance, the microphone I use to record with, it's just like you were saying, it's not the top of the line microphone, but I did that on purpose because I got a home studio. So it's like, I don't want to be in the booth recording my dishwasher and my, you know what I mean? That's
that background noise.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's too powerful. Like, you have to be in like a soundproof room or something. And so I'm like, nah, I'll just get, you know, this microphone, you know what I mean? This works perfect. It picks up clear, everything. So I tell people a lot of times, you got to go and just explore for yourself. Figure out what works for you, what you like, and start building around yourself as opposed to trying to build something you've seen. You know what I mean?
Right, and they also need to learn the difference. They learn the difference between this stuff. I mean, you can go by the top of what you see somebody else buy, but you also need to know the difference. You need to know the difference between a direct condensed mic and a directional, dimensional mic. You need to know what those do. People don't know what those do. Some mics you can actually hang from the ceiling and it'll get the whole room. You know, but you have to know what mic that is. And you can, you know, some mics are direct. You got to talk directly in the mic. It don't get into any background noise. But people don't take the time to learn that. They'll sit back and say, "Oh, I'm gonna start a radio station. All I need is some mics and this and that, and I'm good." That's cool. You know, you could do that, but if you really want to do passion, you take passion with it, and make sure that you're doing things the correct way. You need to research this stuff. Just like anything you do, hairstyle and DJ, anything, you have to take your time to learn these things and figure out what's best for you and work and what gives you the best quality for the great price.
So with the radio station, like, how hands-on are you? Like, do you participate in all the shows? Do you like work the board for them all, stuff like that?
I produce all the shows. All the shows here. I am for this company. I am the program director and chief operating officer. So I do all the shows, all the videos, all the audio. I do all the uploading to all the platforms that we're on. I do all that. Then my other team is in like Mix a Lot. She's in charge of, you know, going out meeting folks, passing out cards. You know, they're into the networking part. She does that. Then I have somebody who does, you know, Slick 316. She's the social media person. She does all social media. She, you know, if we have a guest, she reposts their videos. She makes sure we're relevant on social media on all platforms. So, you know, we have a team that kind of does everything.
Nice.
And it takes a team. Because just doing the audio and video, I mean, for me, takes 8 hours sometimes. So,
Dang, so how do you manage to do all of that 7 days a week and work the full-time job?
That's why I only get 3 hours of sleep a day. It's a matter of trying to find your time. I may sleep 3 hours, but also DJ. That's my hobby. I've been doing that for 35 years, so I try to find time to do that. So it's just a matter of finding your niches to recharge your batteries. That's all I can say. I get 3 hours of sleep. I work. I do this stuff after work. I may sit down and eat dinner, then I'll try to figure out some other stuff to do as far as the radio station. Figuring out what's our next move, what's the next tier we want to move to. So those things, I have a book that I write this stuff down in, because ideas may come to me in my dream or while I'm sleeping, and I'll wake up and write it down, because if I don't, I'll forget. So just things like that. Just trying to stay ahead of the game, because it's like I said, every day somebody's starting a radio station. It's easy to do now, so it don't take much.
Yeah, that's true. You can kind of just jump in and do it, but I think that it's an art to it though. Like, it has to have a flow, like, for people to really catch people and hold them. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just. It's not really haphazard. Like, you gotta have the artist gotta be, because you could go find indie artists, but if the artists aren't bringing good music, it seems to kind of bring down the quality of your station. You know what I mean? Like,
right. But you have to shuffle through that music.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta flip through the music. Like, we try not to have any mainstream artists on our station. Mm-hmm. When it's streaming, like, I'll have DJ mixes and stuff on there, but as far as just artists, we try not to have any mainstream. So sometimes sometimes I'll get songs and I won't listen to them. I'll upload them, but I listen to the station. So when I'm listening to the station, I hear a song, I go, oh, that's got to come off, and I'll write it down. So I'll take it off later on. So you have to be, sound quality of the recorded song has got to be good. They can't record it on their phone, through the garage band and all that stuff, which is fine. I'm not knocking anybody's budget. But if you're sending that stuff over to a radio station, regardless if you think internet radio doesn't matter, you're still sending it to me. You still want to make sure you give me the best quality. But I'll go through those songs. Some of those, and I'm not going to, I'm not trying to talk bad, but some of those songs are terrible. But yeah. I'm not going to tell an artist that, your song is terrible. I'm going to listen to it. And if I don't feel like it's necessarily going to be good to put on the station, I won't do it. But I'm not going to knock you for trying. You get what I'm saying? So people got to realize, artists got to realize that they can't just send anything to an internet radio station, even though they say, oh, they don't really consider internet radio, relevant. Everybody seems to love FM, but we get just as much airplay as FM does. But never mind.
Right.
It's just not
really, FM is kind of like not really doing the numbers anymore. Everybody's listening to internet radio and even satellite. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
Real.
So I think once people realize the value in internet radio, it'll go up, because it can be listened to anywhere at any time by anyone. There's really not that many commercials. There's really not, the songs are not edited. It's just how you send the song is how we put it up. But internet radio is just like regular radio. It's just not localized as much as FM is. So.
So, how does it work with your station with like streaming? And because I was talking before I brought you on, where incidentally, because I have a stream that I do on my YouTube page where I just kind of stream my catalog of music that I have out.
Right.
And so I was streaming on here at the beginning. I just kind of played it at the beginning. I was letting it stream as I was setting up. And I got a message on Facebook saying, copyrighted music, something, and they was going to end my stream if this, that, and the third. And I'm sitting here like, that's kind of lame. Like, I understand this business, and it's, because I'm the copyright owner, so I do understand that they're trying to collect the royalties and property ownership and stuff like that. But at the same time, I feel like they're kind of pulling me back at the same time, because it's all on the paperwork as I publish my music. It's
Right.
I'm saying these are my platforms. This is my my YouTube page, stuff like that. Why am I getting flagged or how? You know what I mean? Like,
Because Facebook doesn't know that stuff. Facebook only gets a thing saying that the song has been copyrighted. They don't know all the other stuff that you're talking about. They don't know that. They don't have time to go look and see what now the person you registered your music with probably could send that information over, but I don't think they do that. They only send the basic information and let us know the song is copyrighted. And Facebook doesn't know, your song. They don't know who you are or what platform you're on. All they know is that this song is playing and it's copyrighted by, SideStreet Kid, and we need to take it off. That's it.
Right.
That's all they know.
And I'm like, how do I get around that? How do I? Because
I don't think there's any way to get around. See, on YouTube, you get around YouTube because YouTube has worked it out with the registering agencies. Certain songs can be played so you can get your money. Like, I can play your song on my stream on YouTube. I won't be able to make any revenue off of it, but any revenue that's made as far as commercials will come to you because you own the song. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So until Facebook comes up with a platform, which they're going to have to, and Instagram is going to have to eventually anyway, when they come up with a platform to where they pay the artist the money like YouTube does, they're going to keep blocking it. But they see Facebook and Instagram, they don't want to pay anything. They just want to keep cutting it off because, to go through the whole thing that YouTube went through is getting the registered agency, paying whatever they pay, like Tidal and Spotify and Pandora pays, whatever, 3 cents a song, whatever they pay. They don't want to pay anything. They don't want to do any of that. So they're trying their best to stay off that as much as possible. Because you think about how many people they got on Instagram. If you got, 2 billion people on Instagram and 100 million of them are playing music, and you're paying 3 cents a song,
right.
That's a lot of money. So,
right.
But one thing they need to realize is that a lot of these songs, like older artists, a lot of the new people discover those songs through Instagram, through Facebook, and I think that the BMIs and the ASCAPs and the CCAPs of the world need to recognize that older songs that have been irrelevant for a long time can be rediscovered and make more money once it's played on these platforms, once it's heard on these platforms, and they don't know how to get out their mind the old ways. This is new, you know what I'm saying? So they got to figure out the new way. Like, I'm gonna give you a good example. Those 2 little guys played Phil Collins' song on their Instagram and just jamming to it, and his song started streaming and making money later. And he hadn't probably been making money off that song that much for 20 years, but started streaming, making money because somebody played it. Everybody was like, "Oh, that's nice, that's nice." So everybody wanted to hear that song.
Yeah.
So
that's usually how it happened. Like, when I look at my stats, I never know. It'll be a song that'll just jump out of nowhere. You know what I mean? It's been like, damn, I got, like, where did that come from? You know what I mean?
Right.
And unfortunately, the data's not really that accurate as
it's not.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So you don't know where it's coming from or what did it, what jumped it off. And so you just kind of keep trying to spread out your doing everything you've been doing, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's dope. So I did want to ask too, like, because I know we had the conversation where you mentioned to me that the spins on your station are tracked. Like,
they're digitally tracked, and their BMI, ASCAP, and all that tracked. So we have artists all the time sending us messages like, "Hey, you're still spinning our song?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then he'll be like, "Oh, that's where my little check's coming from." Because once I put them up, I don't take them down. The only thing that we have a problem with is that artists change their names. So they'll change their name from what it was registered as to something else and re-registered as that name, and they won't make money off this song anymore because that song's not registered anymore. People gotta realize when you send your songs over to these stations, the name and title of the song has to be correct and proper as what you registered it to get paid. You can't send me a song called "Jump in the Streets Part 1" and then register it as "Jump in the Streets" because they won't give you money because it's got the Part 1 part on it. And a lot of indie artists don't realize that. They name their songs and go to that second page of the when you putting the details in for the song when you make it. They don't take the time to do that, and you have to do that. You can't just put your name up there and not put the name of the song, whatever album it is, what genre it is, what year it was made.
And you
all
know,
that
you
stuff.
have to be careful because they will pay somebody else. Like if it's not exact and somebody else has like that money will go to somebody else.
Oh, it does. It will. I mean, even if your name is not the same, like if your name is Timmy 4 and somebody else's name is Timmy 3 and you named it as Timmy 3, they're gonna pay Timmy 3 even though it's your song.
Timmy 3, yeah, yeah, straight up.
Because Timmy 3's name is registered. That they don't know that he didn't make that song, but his name is right, so they're gonna pay him.
Yep, that happens.
I wish more indie artists would understand that they got to take the time to do that stuff. That stuff really matters in them getting paid. I don't think they don't do it. So
yeah, they really don't. But I see some of the younger artists out here. They making money off of United Masters.
Yeah.
They getting it.
The younger artists, I think, have the right idea as to trying to stay as independent as possible. That's how you make your money, and I'm not knocking the record labels or whatever. Record labels are pretty much finance companies now. They give you some money so you can make more records and pay them back and do whatever you're going to do. But as far as making money, a lot of artists are trying to stay independent as long as they can until they run into a wall where they need more money. Okay, then, that's when you start looking for labels. But if you can stay independent for a long time, it'll pay off eventually. You start doing these shows where you don't pay to perform, you getting paid to perform. And that's when your money starts. And that all it takes is one song to hit. One song. If you can get that one song to hit and keep that and build off that momentum, you're good to go. You'll have them busting down your doors to sign you, and you can write your own check. You can tell them exactly what you want. But a lot of artists, what they do is they rush into it and they try to make sure they try to get the record label before they made any noise. They made one song and now they want to be signed. They don't know you. Columbia QC don't know you. Columbia Records don't know you. Warner Brothers don't know you. You got to make some noise first before they come. And then even when you do make noise with that one song, you want to build momentum off of it. So when they do come to you, you can say, well, I need 15 million. And all they can say is, okay, because you've shown that you can do what you need to do to make that 15 million back.
Yeah. Pretty much. It's kind of like either a slow grind or the upfront money.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And the slow grind is always better.
Yeah, it's
because
always better.
Upfront money is good, but the slow grind and that get whatever I want money is better.
Yeah, that's the truth. But cause I've been doing this for a long time. I've been independent my whole career. I've had record deal offers, negotiations, blah blah blah. Never quite, just never stuck.
Okay.
For various reasons, but I call myself one of like the original kind of like indie artists because through all of that, like I'm talking like late 90s, you know what I mean? Like I started going on the independent grind, and back then, it was tapes, then it was CDs, then it, the old school ways.
Right.
Now, everything's changed. You know what I mean? It's not tangible anymore. It's not. You're not selling your music or anything hard like a hard copy. You know what I mean? So it's all digital downloads, this, that, and the third. So with that being in mind, because of course digital downloads pay pretty well.
Right.
Streams, you need a lot of them. You know what I mean?
Right. Let me tell you though. Let me tell you one thing that you missed out on. I'm sorry. You are selling something. You're selling yourself as the image because a lot of people will not support you.
I was going to get to that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I was going to get to that because I had a question linked to it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Going back to what we was talking about, the record company.
Okay.
All right. So like I was saying, like it's downloads, there's streams. I feel like as an artist, like you were saying, your image, you yourself, you're the commodity now, right? which means that your merch, I believe, is more valuable than ever.
Right.
Right? Now, when you go to the record label, they're offering 360 deals now. Like, they want to cut off of your merch, they want to cut off of your tour money, they want to cut off of everything.
Right.
Do you think that that's worth it for artists in this market, like in this climate? Like,
well, if you need the money, then you have to decide if that's best for you. Me, I wouldn't do it personally because the merchandise is what I came up with. That's my idea. That's me on a shoe. That's like me. That's like Jordan telling you, giving you half of his shoe, and he, you know what I'm saying? That's my design, my idea. Everything I did to put in to get it to start selling, that's mine. So why would I split it with you just because you're giving me $100,000? I may make $100,000 off this once it kicks off. So,
right. And these days it could be overnight.
That's your idea. That's your design.
Yeah, like you can do stuff
right.
overnight these days.
Right. Why would I do that? Why would I give you that? Then why would I give you my tour money? Because they don't realize that the tour money, you're gonna have to pay your dancers, your DJ, you got to pay your sound, you got to pay people out of your tour money. Not just the record label itself, but you got to pay everybody else that's helping you on your tour.
Plus
so
lawyers, managers. We're not even talking about, you know, like
security. So you're talking. If you make $1 million off your tour, and it may be more, you may only see 100,000 of it because you didn't pay that 900,000 to other people. Plus, you got to pay the record label. So I think artists just need to sit down and just think about it. Just figure out where they are, what they want to do, how far they want to get, where they are. You know, are they doing this for a career or are they doing it for a hobby? And are they doing it because they want to just get the quick money, or are they doing it because they want to have longevity? Sometimes those things you have to weigh out and you have to look at, because if you don't know, you're gonna sign something that you're gonna regret later on. And there's always artists signing stuff they were gonna regret. Then Megan Stallion signed something, she was like, my record label haven't gave me no money. All that, you know what I'm saying? So you can't just see 7 figures in front of you and be like, hell yeah, I'm good. Because you don't know. If they want to sign you for 7 figures, why? Why can't I get 10? Because if you sign me for 7, you're gonna probably make, if you sign me for $1 million, you probably already calculated that you're gonna make 3.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So I'm more of a fan of doing joint ventures than anything, But that whole 360 deal, it kind of doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but artists do it. Artists do it because they need the money, and I don't knock you. If you need the money, you need the money. You know what I'm saying? You gotta do what you gotta do, but you gotta make sure that you got something else kicking off. If you want to give them a piece of this design and this merchandise, make sure that it's only pertaining to that merchandise and not your future thoughts, not your future earnings, because that's what kicks them off. Yeah. Like if you make a design now. And then 6 months later, you're making another design that looks better, that's making more money, and you ain't looked at your contract and the record label like, oh, where I cut? You like, no, that was off that design. No, read the fine print. It says all future designs and ideas, we get 50-50.
Yeah.
So, that's basically true. Anything you think of, for as long as they want to say, you got to pay.
Yeah. That's facts. That's facts. And I'm talking about they had you in some crazy deals. And it's people, not just new deals, like it's people who signed deals back in the day that's still locked in them because they didn't recoup or whatever the case was. And it'd be for like, when you look back at it, it's like little money. It's like, $150,000 or something. You know what I mean? Like that they spent in 8 months or whatever. You know what I mean? In no time at all, it's gone, and
it's accruing interest because they didn't look at the fine print. Says it's interest accrues and all that stuff. They ain't looking at all that. All they saw was $150,000, and they only had $50 in their pocket. So
yep.
It's just one of those deals, man. Artists, I don't think artists realize that they have the power, man. They have the power to, and without artists, there's no music industry. So they got to realize that they have the power. They have whatever the music record companies are selling. They're the ones who have it. So you know, the record company is distribution. They the dealer. They, you know what I'm saying?
But see, here's the thing I say all the time though, like I think that the major misstep we have as a culture, like, you know, in our music culture, is that we'll do stuff like, okay, first off, we separate, you know, we have underground artists and then we have mainstream artists, right? And somehow it's like they become two different people if it crosses over, right? But what tends to happen is you have the underground artists who will rely heavy on, say, a platform like yours, right? For exposure, the club owners, the radio, the, you know, internet radio, anything that's kind of popping that's fueling the underground indie scene, right? They feed on it. And then say they catch a buzz and they end up signing a deal or going mainstream or major or whatever, they abandon the original supporters. Like they don't come back and do the smaller stations. They don't come back and support them. They don't. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think that causes a disconnect. It keeps the power in the hands of, you know, the corporate machine.
Right, and that's the way they want it. The corporate machine wants that way. But I also have to fault the artists as well, because they can say, I want to go to Misfits Radio, I want to go do an interview with Kid. You know, they can say that. They can say it. They can tell their managers or whoever their handlers to say, look, I want to do this. I want to support this. I want to do that. But what happens is you got their entourage blowing their heads up. Oh, you bigger than that. You're past that. That's beneath you. So what happens is they start believing these things, and they don't want it. They feel like they're wasting their time to come to a Misfits Radio or do an interview with you because they don't think they're gonna get any value out of it. When all in all, when you fall, when you come back to reality, you know, then you're gonna want to talk to us and be like, nah, we good. We good with that. Because when we try to talk to you, they don't support us small guys when they get bigger, because they all think they're bigger than us, and the record label wants it that way. They want to keep it separated that way because they don't want you to collaborate that way, because why you gonna get, you know, that you need to be over here, you know, they need to be over there. It's all the same to me. It's all the same to me. Right. It's just a matter of the artist realizing that it's where they started at and where they are. They always can go back.
Yeah, because I'm sure, like, with you being, like, you get music submissions all the time.
All the time, because for us, our station, we just tell them to send it to us. We'll put it in rotation. You don't have to do an interview with us or anything like that to send us your music. Just send it to us, and we'll put it in. If we like it, we'll put it in rotation. I do live mixes on Sundays on our show. I'll put it in the mix if I like it. It's just a matter of you get me the song. Now, sometimes it takes me a little longer because, like I say, I have to go in there and make sure the name is right, make sure the name of the song is right, so they'll get their coins when I put it on the station. But I have to do that because they don't do it. I mean, they'll send me an email with a song, and it won't even be their name. It'll be whatever name the person who sent it to me in, and I don't know who the artist is. So now I'm putting the name of the email on the name of the song because I don't know who you are.
All the time. It'd be they girl email or the engineer's email or something. Yeah, all the time.
So now I'm putting Fred the engineer's name on your song. Fred the engineer's song, slap that thing. Right. I don't know who you are. Fred the engineer sent it to me.
Right. Yeah. I made a mistake one time some years back. I released a record and somehow the title got mixed up. It got the file title as the title of the song. And it came out with the engineer's name in the title of the song. Like, it was crazy. It was crazy. I'm like, oh shit, I just made my man famous.
Right.
But yeah.
But that happens all the time. You'd be surprised how much that stuff happens.
Yeah.
It happens all the time. It's just one of those things. I don't know. They don't want to take the time to do it, or they forget, but it happens all the time. Taking that little 10 more minutes to make sure all your information within that song and details is correct will save you a lot of time and money.
Yeah, it will. Definitely.
A lot of it. So
Definitely. Yeah, it take a lot. It take a lot. I really think it's in order to compete, you have to realize that the mainstream artists, it's not just one person moving around. This is a business.
Right.
It's like a company. You know, there's people that handle specific aspects of, you know, they have duties. The artist is being the artist. He's showing up to do his in-store, or they don't do in-stores no more, but whatever.
that's you were old school with that in-store.
yeah. I meant to say appearances.
They'll come sign CDs at Tower.
Yeah, right. But you remember when I was a kid, I used to line up. Boy, I'd be out there trying to get.
They don't do that anymore.
Yeah, man. Well, they do. They just don't call it that no more.
Oh, okay.
They call it pop-up shops now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the same thing. In-store, pull up on the artist. They out there promoting whatever they got going on. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But yeah, that's like my vision of like a real artist, and it's, you know, and that's not to say I think it's a separation between an artist and a musician. Some people are musicians, and they're not necessarily. And I don't want to say like musicians aren't artists, but I mean like well, maybe I shouldn't use the word artist. It's like star, like someone trying to be a star and a musician. Musicians play music, you know what I mean?
Okay.
A star doesn't have to be a musician. A star can be anything. But
well, let me ask you a question. Can a musician be a star?
Oh yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Can a musician be a star? Yeah, I would think that would be. Me personally, I like musicians. I like star musicians myself personally.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, actors are stars. Models. It's all kind of ways people become stars. Sometimes it's book authors, whatever. You know, politicians. Shit, look at Obama. You know what I mean?
Right.
But that I think sometimes people want to be musicians and get caught up in this narrative of like people telling them, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this, because they're like, this is what you have to do to be a star. And the person's like, well, I'm not necessarily trying to be a star. I'm a musician.
Okay. I get what you're saying.
You get what I'm saying? Like, it's different. Some people maybe just want to be in a band, or some people don't want to be in a band. They play music at, I don't know, the airport. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Like in the lounge somewhere, but they just love playing music. And I think that's a major distinction that some people get caught up in. Like, you know, they forget they out here chasing this, wanting to be a star when you don't have to. Like, if you're a great musician and you make a record, I'll buy it because it's great music.
It's great music.
You see what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be, oh, he's a star, he's pop, he's famous, and this, that, and the third. What, you know? A lot of those people aren't great musicians. They're just stars.
Some of them aren't great stars.
Yeah, they're not even that great of stars, right?
To be honest with you, I think that a lot of times within the culture of music itself, a lot of things get separated out because basically money issues. You know, money becomes an issue. People get greedy. I mean, think about when rap first started back. You know, I'm 50, so I remember from the beginning. You think about when rap first started back. You know, DJ was part of the show. You know, DJ
he was the show.
You know, DJ get 10 minutes. You know, not in the beginning when he was in the park and you had to get permission from the DJ.
Yeah, he was the show back then.
I'm talking about once it evolved just a little bit, but the DJ was part of the show. DJ was part of the rap. You know, you know, Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. You get what I'm saying? And all those, you know. Then all of a sudden, the DJ started getting pushed as a side, and it was just about the artist. Then all of a sudden, you didn't need musicians to play for you anymore. You got a computer and a sample machine. You could do it that way, which technology is great. I don't get me wrong, but now it's going to the point now to where to see an artist have live band behind them, you like, oh my God, they got a live band behind them. But Earth, Wind, and Fire, the Commodores. You know, all them folks had a band behind them at the time back in the day when we first started this thing y'all call music. So So to see it kind of evolve, people be so shocked by it that Jay-Z does a concert and he has a live band playing. It's like, okay, so, but everybody else is like, oh my God, he has a live band playing.
Wow, yeah. I opened up for Earth, Wind and Fire once in Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, okay. How was that?
Man, it was crazy. That was a while ago. That was like 2000, 2001, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, it was a shock to me really, because I got booked. It was a festival.
Okay.
I got booked for it, and I didn't really know what to expect because I never performed in. Well, I had performed in Phoenix, but only in clubs. You know what I mean? So now this is like a festival where all types of people out here, all this kind of stuff. So I didn't know what to really expect. And then I get there, and they're like, I get my time slot and everything, and I realize I'm on the big stage and I'm going on right before Earth, Wind and Fire. I'm like, oh shit! Like I'm so, you know what I mean? Like I didn't know what. You know what I mean? I'm tripping.
Double time then.
Yeah, I'm tripping. But that was a crazy gig. I performed, and when I was done, I got into a fight. I got into a fight with some people out there. They was like some skinheads. That's what they, you know what I mean? Yeah, and they was like mad. They said they didn't like something I said on stage, or they didn't like something in my music. They was mad at.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it turned to a big thing. Police was there and all of that, and I had to be escorted out of there. But before they came, we brawled for a little minute, and so I got escorted out. And this was the crazy thing about it, was when we got out of there, I stopped and I realized that Earth, Wind and Fire was about to go on, and I was gonna miss it. I was like, let's go back. We gotta get, you know what I mean?
Right.
And we went back. Yeah, we went back and we watched the show and everything, and nothing else happened or whatever. But yeah, it was cool. And that was the first time I seen them. They had switched out the singer. They had the new. I still can't remember his name.
Maurice White wasn't there. They got Philip Bailey in there.
Philip Bailey, yeah, that was the first show, because I didn't know they had switched the singers out.
Right. Yeah, Maurice White was the original, and then him and his brother started Earth, Wind and Fire, and then he kind of I don't know. I want to say he got sick or something, and then they brought in Philip Bailey. So
yeah. But that show was dope. I want to say that was the only time I seen them live, but that production, just it was crazy.
Right. Horn section.
That horn section is so crisp. You know what I mean? It's so crisp. They don't miss a beat. Yeah, it was hot.
My uncles loved Earth, Wind and Fire and Stevie Wonder. I've been around music for a long time, so Earth, Wind and Fire, Stevie Wonder, all those guys. That was for our family. We wasn't. We was money deficient, so
right.
music was kind of our outlet. You know what I'm saying? You eat music for dinner. Trying to figure out what you're gonna do for the next day. But that's how I got into DJing and all that stuff, because I love music so much. Mm-hmm. And coming from Chicago, Westside Chicago, being a poor kid in Westside Chicago, there was not really many things to do. You could either listen to music and DJ, or you can join a gang, or sell drugs. One of them three. Right. Maybe go to the YMCA for a little while, but but other than that, that was all we did. So I've been in music a long time, so I kind of try to learn, all the different genres of music. And that's what I think a lot of indie artists need to do. They really need to listen to different music. Because I believe it will give them a better idea of what they should do. You need to listen to that classical. Listen to a little jazz. Listen to a little old Earth, Wind and Fire, 70s, 60s, 50s music. A lot of that older stuff to get a good understanding. Listen to some, Wax Taylor, all those guys, Portishead and all that stuff, because those people, the gorillas in, I forget the last name, but the Gorillas. They listen to all that stuff to get an understanding of the different
the actual group, the Gorillas.
Yeah, the Gorillas.
I love them.
Yeah, you gotta listen to that kind of stuff in order to get a better understanding of where music has come from and where it's going.
Yeah.
And I think indie artists do that nowadays. They kind of listen to their own genre, and that's why they all sound the same, unfortunately, because they all listen to the same kind of music.
Yeah.
You know,
and
you
it's
gotta
like,
listen to that.
And it's like, it feels like being creative and original has been shunned. Like, you have to sound like what's going on or you get discredited instantly.
Right.
Whereas we used to be more like, if you sounded like something we heard already, you got discredited.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of backwards.
You got to sound like what's selling. That's what it is.
Like what's selling, yeah.
If it's selling, you're going to try to sound like it because it's selling. And, that's unfortunate. That's what music is. It's music nowadays, not most of it is not about being creative. It's about what sells. And I really wish these artists would get back to what's creative. Creative music is it lasts forever. It's eternal. I mean,
I don't think that what sells is determined by how good it is.
Right. I mean, think about some of these songs you get that's real popular now off TikTok and all that stuff. A lot of them don't even have words. They just have sound effects. I mean, what the artist is making, the rapper's making sound effects with his mouth or whatever. I mean, I don't knock them. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, but if I'm listening to a song, I don't want to hear you making sound effects with your mouth the whole through the song. I want to hear you say something with some meaning and power. I mean, or with something other than sound effects. But that's neither here nor there. I'm old, so people gonna say, "Oh, he just hate."
Nah, it really isn't. Like, because I dig the new stuff. I do. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I hear a lot of people from my generation. Because I'm not 50, but I'm not far behind you. I just turned 44. My birthday was like 3 days ago. You know what I mean?
Belated birthday.
Word, appreciate it. But I get a lot of people in my generation or around in my age group, and they be like, they talk about like this era of rap music that was like the golden age, and they talk about the stuff the kids are doing is dumb or it's mumble rap and all of this kind of stuff, and I'm like, I kind of like it actually. Like I feel like it's a vibe. You know what I mean? I don't compare it to what has been or other forms of hip hop, anything like that. Like, it is what it is right now.
Right.
But I try to remind people though that that golden era they talk about wasn't all that golden. It was a lot of trash records. You know what I mean?
And that's what we old heads get mixed up at. We remember the old stuff, but we don't remember the trash either. There was a lot of trash records made back then. From 80, when I started listening to music, like really listen to it from 82 on forward, there was a lot of crap made. Like, you're like, what is that? But
it was.
And I don't think a lot of people from my age, your age era really realize that when we would listen to rap, our parents hated it too. They hated what we listened to. They hated, like, what is this crap? This is stupid. Same thing we're saying about the music now is what our parents were saying about our music back then.
Even the way they dress, like down to the way, everything. It was the same. It's the same cycle.
Right. It's the same cycle, but I dig some of the new stuff too. I don't knock none of the new stuff. Don't get me wrong. If I don't like it, I just won't listen to it. But I'm not gonna knock you for it because, like I say, you have to find your niche. And if that's the niche that's working, and if selling your records and you making money off of it, who am I to come and say it's crap?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Then that's when I become a hater because you making money, you making a living, you take care of your family, whatever you're doing with your money, you're doing it. So I can't come along and say it's crap because it obviously can't be crap because you got millions of people listening to it or whatever. You have 500,000, whatever you're selling, you have those people listening to it. So I can't say it's crap that much. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
You have to respect the hustle. You don't have to necessarily like everything in the hustle, but you have to respect the hustle itself. So
facts. So let me ask you this, because it sounds like we kind of come from the same foundation of music. Like, you know, I really picked up on at least hip hop somewhere around 82, somewhere in there. You know, I've always been a music head since I can remember. I even, you know, the stuff my parents listened to, like, you know, in the 70s or whatever. But in your opinion, what do you think? Like, what is your favorite as a DJ? I mean, what is your favorite genre of music?
Oh, my favorite genre of music is always going to be hip hop. I've always loved hip hop. I love hip hop. I love it. I love not just hip hop, the music, the graffiti, the culture, the dress, I love all the three aspects of hip hop. I love it. But I discovered, of course, I was listening to R&B and stuff, Earth, Wind, and Fire, Stevie Wonder, and all that stuff before hip hop came. But hip hop just took, man. When I first heard N3w, and I first heard, don't get me wrong now, N3w wasn't my first rapper that I loved. I actually was into Eric B. and Rakim more than I was anyone else. You get what I'm saying? I love Eric B. and Rakim. Like, I bought all of their albums, all of them. It's like there was no album that they couldn't make that I didn't see that they made. I didn't buy tape, whatever. Because I started at tapes, I went to CDs, whatever it was, I bought it. But when I first heard the cursing, when N3w came and Luke came, and Ice-T came with the album covers with the naked girls on the back, you know what I'm saying? I was sold on hip hop then. Yeah. Because I was like, enough for me to rewind the tape and say what they say. I was sold on hip hop, but when I was break dancing and all that stuff and all the music that they played for break dancing, I was sold on hip hop. I loved it, man. It was nothing more for me than hip hop. Just all the grooves, native tongues. I mean, just the progression of it all was so great to me. When they got into the Afrocentric, being black, having a black medallion with Afro on.
That was my era, boy. The native tongues, when the native tongues hit the scene, I was on. Right. That was like, I was like, finally, it's up. Like, we here, you know what I mean? Because, before that, I was into all of that. I loved it. But that was like, because I came up, I have an older brother. He's 9 years older than me. So that was like where I was hearing the original, like, hip hop stuff. That's where it was coming from, because he was older. He was getting tapes. I don't know where he was getting them from, but he was coming. We in L.A. and he pulling up. He got it was these tapes called the Fresh Fest tapes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they used to come every year. It was like Fresh Fest 84, Fresh Fest 85, Fresh Fest. Right. You know what I mean? And that's how we knew what was hot in New York. Like, you know what I mean? You get Dana Dane or Slick Rick or whatever, and then he would go and get, and then he would go and find the records, and we'd have the records and stuff like that. How did you first discover hip hop? Like, do you remember like the first record you heard? Because I know mine, like, I don't know. I want to say it was Curtis Blow.
Let me put it in perspective for you coming from Chicago. Now, I say hip hop, but I forgot to say I'm a house head too. I come from Chicago. House music was my first love. House music
because I listened to your mixes when you mixing on Instagram. It's like you put house in there. That should be. I'm a house head too. You know what I mean?
House has always been my favorite love. House is what got me into DJing. Because I would listen to the house music DJs on the radio station in Chicago, and I was like, oh, I gotta do that. But house got me into it. But to be honest with you, in Chicago, house music was any music that they put in the mix. It wasn't necessarily a job. They started
because it was It was like club music at the time. That's
it wasn't necessarily an individual song that they were making just for house music. House music didn't become house music until they opened a place called the Warehouse in Chicago. And then anything that was played at the Warehouse was considered house.
And that was what, 91? What year was that?
The Warehouse opened back in 86, 87. Up in that area.
Because I started hearing about it somewhere in the 90s.
Yeah, Frankie Knuckles came from New York, and he's opened the Warehouse. But to be honest with you, there was a DJ in Chicago that I actually helped carry records for named Ron Hardy that was already playing that stuff that Frankie Knuckles was playing. So everybody thinks Frankie Knuckles was the godfather of house music. And don't get me wrong, he did his thing for house music, but actually Ron Hardy was. Ron Hardy was the godfather because he was playing mixing disco with Italian disco and all that stuff. But his problem was that he played the songs too fast. Because he was high on heroin all the time.
Right, that dust. It was like dust music back in the day, yeah.
So the song sounded too slow to Ron. When,
right.
When I would carry records in for him, he'd be like, hey, Lee, bring that record over in. And he would play the song, he'd be like, this is crap. And sometimes he would break the records, like, this is crap. But he started house music to me. That's the originator. I don't care what anyone else says. They can argue with me on this video, on this interview, whatever they want. But Ron Hardy started house music. But what they would do in house music in Chicago was they would mix anything in. So one time, I don't know exactly who the DJ was. They were mixing a little house music, and then they started bringing in this hip hop music. They just started mixing them in, because back then you mix anything. I'm from an era where we mix anything together. We didn't care what it was. If it sounded good, we mixed it in there. We didn't care, and we were doing it with records back then. It wasn't all this BPM stuff you can read now. We had to do it by ear.
Do it by ear. I used to count. Yeah.
Right, get the count.
Yeah.
So the first hip hop record I heard, and I'm trying to make sure it was right. I want to say that it was Run DMC, Christmas in Hollis Queen, I believe. I believe that was the first one I heard. Now I heard right. And they were mixing it in because they were doing the Christmas mix. Now I had heard the message before that, but it didn't catch on to me. I was like, whatever. Yeah. But that caught on to me. And then what else caught on to me was that I forget his name. I'm sorry. His name is sliding by me, but at one point, and I didn't really get into Run DMC that heavy. They never was a group that I was like, oh my God, Run DMC. Mm-hmm. I actually got into Eric B, LL Cool J for a long time. I was in the LL Cool J for a long time because of his DJ. He had a DJ called not Cut Creator.
Before him,
he had Bobcat.
Bobcat, yeah, Bobcat was it.
Bobcat. If you go back and listen to a song called Jack the Ripper by LL Cool J, you will hear Bobcat scratching on that record.
Yeah.
I loved his DJ. But also, I loved his DJ, but I loved his raps. I loved how he would rap and he'd do his thing and whatever. So I was in the LL Cool J for a long time, but the first song I believe, and I may be wrong, was Christmas in Hollis Queens on WBMX. They was mixing house music and hip hop, and they was doing a Christmas mix. So that was the first one I remember hearing. I was like, oh, what's this? What's this coming in? But and back then they would mix the songs in for about, let me tell it, 15 minutes before they drop it down. They would mix both beats and make them sound like one. That's the era I come from. We mix two songs in together and make it sound like one song.
That's how we do. I still do that. That's still what I love. I like the mix. You know what I mean? The mix,
Hold it for 4 minutes. Hold that thing for 4 minutes and then drop the beat in.
Right.
All that scratching and stuff is cool.
Yeah.
I don't have no problem with it, but I didn't come from that era. Yep. So when I say blends and that I'm a mixologist, is because I'm mixing these songs to make them sound like one. If I can't mix the song and make it sound like one song, and you may hear the other song coming, but you may not know when it's going to drop in, then I'm not doing my job. See, I can scratch them in all day, but I'm not really a turntablist. I'm more of a mixer. So,
got you. Yeah, I never could really scratch that good. I play around a little bit.
Right. Yeah, I can scratch, but I'm not. I'm not like these guys, the younger guys doing that. That's all they do is scratch. I can't do that.
Yeah, well, it's a different ball game now. Like, I watch some of these DJs, like, and let me ask you this too. I don't know if you follow like some of the like the DJ world. Like I want to say like what's them cats called? Party Next Door or something like that.
I I haven't. Now I'll go through my explore page and listen to some mixes or something, or listen to what somebody doing.
What about like a Dead Mouse? You ever check out like
No.
a Dead Mouse?
I don't consider those people DJs.
Right, that's what I wanted to ask. Like,
I don't consider like a Dead Mouse or David Guetta or any of those guys DJs. I consider them producers who people were booked as a DJ in order to get the crowd going. You get what I'm saying? I don't consider them necessarily DJs. And don't get me wrong, they make millions of dollars claiming to be a DJ, but I don't consider them to be DJs.
Because, see, I was looking at it like this. They call themselves DJs. I'm thinking they're DJs, right? And so I did some festivals with them as well a few years back. Like I did, what's his name? David Guetta?
Guetta. David Guetta, yeah.
I did one with him. That was in I think it was England.
Okay.
And anyway, I was excited to watch him. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, this cat, like everybody was pumped. He had it packed, right?
Right.
Everybody was packed. So I'm backstage, like, so I get to see what he's doing. And I'm looking like he ain't had no turntables.
Right.
I'm like, what's he about to do? Yo, the cat had a light, the light board, like laser show, and
right.
he had like that kind of thing going on, and some buttons he was hitting with sounds and horns.
Right.
And went off, did the whole show, and my jaw was on the floor, like, I didn't know how to feel about that, you know what I mean? I really just wanted to ask your opinion on that, like, you know what I mean? How you felt?
Most of those guys do pre-recorded mixes anyway. They're not mixing live. That's what people don't realize. They're not mixing live.
They're not mixing live.
They're pre-recorded mixes. I mean, people love them. I mean, even when I'm on Instagram, I see people, they're doing these promo videos and they're not really mixing anything. They'll the girl throwing her hand up and all that stuff, and everybody's in the comments like, "Oh my God, this is the best thing ever!" And I made a video about that, and they're pressing the Q button to make sounds and all that old stuff with the Q button. And I know I'm old, and I come from the long lineage of old school DJs. But if you're not touching the platters and getting that beat going and doing what you got to do as far as mixing and sliding that mixer over or whatever, I just don't know if you're really a DJ or not, or if you're just more of a glorified iPod. So
it feels weird. It feels weird.
But people love it. These people, their videos get 10 to 15,000 views, 100,000 views on it. And that's because the music they're playing, of course, EDM is a big genre of music. Yeah. I don't really have a taste for EDM. EDM kind of took over house music. It's not the same, but people think it's the same, but I'm more of the jazz. If I'm gonna follow a DJ, it's gonna be more of a Jazzy Jeff, Black Coffee. I really love how Black Coffee mixes because he really does do his mixes live.
We may as well get into that because that was one of my questions. If you had to pick like a top 5 DJs, like who would be in your top 5 list?
Starting from 5 to first, Jam Master Jay. Paris, he's a rapper who had a DJ named Mad.
From California.
Right. Mad is like number 4. Then Bobcat, when he was LL Cool J, would be number 3. Black Coffee would be number 2. And then Jazzy Jeff is like my all-time favorite DJ. Number 1. I like Jazzy Jeff because he keeps my age, and I kind of feel like we grew up together. But when he did that song on I'm the Rapper, He's a DJ, and he had that one track, and he was just scratching up all that.
Yes, that was crazy. Yeah, Jeff is he might be my number 1 too. Like Jazzy Jeff.
Jeff is the truth, but Mad, I don't even know if he even DJs anymore. But Paris had DJ Mad. He had a track on Paris's first CD or the second one. I forget the name. I forget it was the first one or the second one. where he was just scratching up songs. Man, he was kind of neck and neck with Jeff, and I mean he was tough, but I don't think Mad even DJs anymore. I haven't heard anything about him anymore. But back then, we're talking late 80s, early 90s, like 88, 87. He was already killing it. He was already, all the stuff these guys are doing now, he was already doing, which was Jeff was already doing back then. You know, if you think about all that stuff Jeff was doing on that first CD that they brought out, that was back in 86, 87 too. So he was already doing that stuff too. So that's why he's so tough now. So man, I've never really been what's his name? Not Jam SJ, but the Furious Five. What's that guy's DJ's name? I forget his name.
You talking about Kool Herc?
Not Kool Herc. I can't think of his name right now. Flash.
Grandmaster Flash.
Grandmaster Flash. I've never really been a fan of his as far as DJing. I really never really heard nothing he DJ. I know that he's supposed to have been the creator of certain things in DJing, but I don't know about that.
Yeah, I'm in the Flash because he engineered the. I don't want to say engineer. I don't know how to describe it, but without him, we probably wouldn't have a crossfader.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he kind of, basically like the crossfader was his thing.
Right, and that high torque turntable, they said was his thing too.
And the high torque turntable.
Right, was his thing too for scratching and stuff. So I mean, he's cool as far as DJ history is concerned, but I never really heard anything he did besides those innovations and creations. I never heard any DJing he's done. So I guess I'm biased on that point because I never really heard any DJing he's done.
I think with Flash, he was really before my time. That was somebody we heard stories about. So I just hold him in high regard as like the legend of how it got us to the people that I like.
Right.
Like to me, I want to say like a DJ that I really got into as a kid. Like one of the first was Terminator X.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Terminator X was so ill to me, man. Like the way he just, when he transformed, it really sounded like a robot, and he had all the, you know what I mean? It was just crazy.
Right. I never really listened. I might need to go back and listen to his stuff. I've never really listened to him.
He's like an original. He's one of the last of the original type turntablists. Like, you know what I mean? Like actually scratching, actually having an ear for what he's scratching. You know what I mean? All that kind of stuff. After that, though, it was probably Premier, Pete Rock. You know, I was into that, but I kind of did Q-Tip.
Really?
Yeah.
I had never heard Q-Tip DJ. I heard it produced. Now I'm into his producing. Now I got a lot of dope jazz songs from him. A lot of dope jazz music from him, from just listening to him. But I've never heard him DJ. You know who I have heard DJ though that was dope?
Who?
Was the DJ for not Tribe Called Quest, but
De La
Soul.
Yeah, he's
Get his
not.
name.
Yeah. Mace.
Yeah. Maceo.
Yeah, Maceo.
Maceo's
raw. Yeah.
He's a depth. I heard him.
And his ear, his ear for what he's mixing. For real.
Man, I would sit up there like this. Because his ear was so smooth in the mixes. He didn't scratch nothing. It was just, man, the blends. It was like, oh, that's another song. Oh my God, I didn't know it. I mean, it was just so smooth and crisp. I was in La La Land. I was like, this is what I'm talking about right here. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's ill. Yeah.
But you know what another DJ I just discovered, but he don't be doing anything anymore, is DJ Irie. He used to have a thing on SoundCloud called Fresh Radio.
You know what? Is that the same? You heard of DJ Applejack? Was he used to DJ with Applejack?
I'm not sure.
It's IRIE?
Yeah, DJ Irie.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Fresh Radio. He used to have a thing on Fresh Radio, but his thing was, now he was a great DJ, but his thing was that he had, like all the hip hop songs that had samples. He would mix those original samples in with the original song, and it be sounding so good. And I've been doing it for a long time, but the way he's doing it is like, oh my god,
because that's not easy. Like I'm into that. You know what I mean? I'm into that myself. It's not easy because the tempos of the records. All of that's different. Like it takes a real skill to get it right. You know what I mean?
And he be mixing them originals in, and I've been doing that for a long time. Don't get me wrong. I'll have originals to hip hop that you wouldn't even believe. You like that was sampled from that, but
me too.
it's just the way he did it. It's like, and then sometimes he was scratching, but you would hear hear the scratch, and then the original would drop, and then that hip hop version would come in. You're like, damn, that sounds so good.
Right.
I don't know how he did it.
Yeah, it's a talent for real. I watch people do it all the time.
It's a
I'm
real
like
talent. And
amazed by it.
To know when to drop it, man.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm definitely like I think Q-Tip's a dope DJ like that, like as a party DJ. You know what I mean? Because I'm more into that than just the scratch DJing. Because like I love the skill of scratching and when it's used right and everything. But when it gets into like scratch battles and stuff, after a while it's kind of like, okay.
Well, you can't really scratch at a party. You can't really scratch at the club. People don't want to hear you scratching. They want to hear the song.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, if you're at a party, nobody wants to hear you scratching it up the whole 5 minutes the song playing. They want to hear the dang on song.
Yep, exactly. So I'm more into that. Like, but I like when a DJ can play a song and make it sound a way like I've never heard this song sound like this. You know what I mean? It's just all in the way he's mixing it and when he's dropping it and everything. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm into.
Yeah. That takes time and skill. You have to learn that. You have to learn how to do that. I mean, I sit back. I spend so much time just finding music that sometimes I don't even get time to practice. I probably got like 30 albums right now I need to go through and just make it, because I have a certain way I like my music to look in Serato. So, it's just a matter of time.
Yep.
Now, to do it.
So, in your opinion, do you prefer like actual wax records or DJing like with Serato like MP3s, or do you prefer, some DJs use like CDs, you know what I mean? Like, what's your preference?
I don't have one. I feel like you should learn how to mix with all of it, because you don't know what you're going to get into. I know how to mix with controllers, CDJs, turntables, MP3s, records, CDs. I know how to mix with them all because I feel like I'm not going to know what I'm going to run into. And I don't want to be like, oh, I don't know nothing about this. I want to be like, oh, that's no problem. So I try to learn how to mix with all of them. I know how to mix with all of them, to be honest with you. Turntables, I can mix with all that stuff.
Nice. And you got a record collection?
I used to have one. I used to have 20,000 records burnt up in the fire back in 2001.
Oh, not the fire. Oh.
Yeah. The garage caught on fire, and that's where they were all stored. And then it engulfed the bottom of the house, but it burnt up in the fire, 20,000 gone. So, because, back in Chicago, we used to buy records for $3. Records now is $99, but you could buy records back then, the original, $3-4,
$4, yeah.
Right.
Yep.
I had tons of records. Because I would buy a record. We would buy, and that's what I miss about DJ culture as I'm grown now. You can't really collab and vibe out with no DJs now because everybody wants to be a superstar. But back then, I didn't have any DJ equipment for a long. Like I said, we was money deficient. So, but I had 3 other friends in my neighborhood that had DJ equipment. It was nothing to go over there and mix on their stuff and learn what they learn. They teach me what they know. I teach them what I learned and stuff like that. But we would all buy records as a collaborative. I may be working. I worked this weekend. I got $20 or $30, and I go buy 5 or 6 records that we don't have in our collection. and somebody else will go buy 5 or 6 records. They don't have enough. But the thing was, we always bought 2 of them.
Yep.
So we would buy. So it may be 5 records, but it's actually 10 because we buy 2 of each.
2 records. Yeah. Yep. That's how I started on Friends Equipment. You know, me DJing and stuff like that, and we would all kick in and pay to be in a record pool where we could get early releases of music and stuff like that, and then for other stuff I would go shop for it. Like we would go to, you know, just record stores. I remember it being a big deal. You know, we was teenagers. It'd be a big deal. Like we get some money together, we can go somewhere like Melrose or something big time and go get some records. You know what I mean? We was on. But
we would do that too. We would go to Barney's on Roosevelt and be like, man, what we doing? We going to Barney's. We go up there. We be up there for hours.
Yeah.
Like hours. Because they would let us play their music too. They would let us play the record before we started.
Yeah.
So we would be up there for hours, man, just vibing out, playing records, just having a good time, just doing what we do. And those days are gone, you know. I try to vibe out with DJs nowadays, just on Instagram, like, hey, y'all want to come vibe out, have a vibe session? Oh, we ain't got time, you know. Everybody's got a party to do. They got whatever.
Yeah, right. Nah, that's what I need to do. Man, trust me. It's just I stay so far. I'm on the south side. You know what I mean? I'm in the Swats.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I be wanting to come out there, man, and vibe with you for real.
Yeah, I be trying to get folks to come vibe out, man. Sit back. Let's play some records, see what we got, see what I got, see what you got, see what we can swap. You know,
Yeah. Cause I still go record shopping. I got records over here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I still go record shopping.
It's one place down in 5 Points, Virginia Highlands. I want to go. It's a record store, but that's old record store too. I don't know if you ever been by there, but it's right over there by Junkman's Daughter, right over by Vortex. And
yeah, I just bought some records from there like last week.
Okay. I want to go in there one day and check that out and see what they got going on. I just ain't never stopped by there, but they look like they might got some good stuff in there, man.
They do. I've been going there since I've been in Atlanta. I pretty much go to all the record stores. I don't want to say all of them because I find stuff all the time, and I'm like, you know, maybe tucked off in the cut, but. When I find one, I frequent it. You know what I mean? I go pick up a couple records here and there, because you know I use records for everything, like more so than just DJing. Like I like to play records for like vibes when I'm creating music. You know. But,
you know, another good place to find records is thrift stores.
Yeah, but you know what? What I don't like about buying out of thrift store, they actually be overpriced. They act like, because they're selling them like this some kind of antique thing, something. Yeah, it's like, come on, man, y'all want how much for this record? Yeah, so I actually, unless it's something I really want or it's rare or something like that, I usually don't buy, but I constantly, you know, I'm old school. I read album covers and stuff.
Right.
So when I'm in there, I definitely look through all the records and read them and see what they got, and then I'll just go try to find them somewhere else. But yeah, they be overpriced in the thrift stores, man.
That is true. But you can find sometimes, like, I'll go looking through there and I'll see some old, like, I'm like, I don't know what this is. So I'll look through it, and sometimes I'll just grab a bunch of them that's like $2 or $3, and bring them home. And sometimes I can catch a little crispiness. I'm like,
that's what I was gonna say. I do find stuff there sometimes, like, you know. And what's funny is I found a lot of the last time I was there, which was a couple months ago, I was in a thrift store. I found some children's records in there. They was dope though. Like I forgot that. See those old children's records from like the 70s and stuff, man. Funk. It was all funk, like Electric Company and all of that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. So
yeah.
And you know that's like the that's kind of like the foundation of hip hop. Like when you listen back to some of that old original stuff, it was like cartoon music. It was Electric Company. It was old children's stuff. Like
right.
You know.
And like Schoolhouse rock in some of my mixes. You know, you remember
Yeah.
Schoolhouse?
Yeah.
I put that in some
Schoolhouse
of my
Rock.
mixes too. They were like, "What is that?" I'm like, "See, I don't know nothing about the Schoolhouse Rock."
Right. I always
Right.
trip like Busta Rhymes. You know, remember the song This Is Serious?
Uh-huh.
We
Uh-huh.
can Man, when I was a kid, that was a commercial for it was a commercial called Yuck Mouth used to come on TV.
Oh, my name is Yuck
My
Mouth
name, because I don't
brush.
brush. Remember, that's how I used to start off. It'd be like
Right,
the
right.
vegetables and stuff used to come
Right,
out.
I
and
remember that. I
This
remember that.
is serious. We can make you delirious. I was like, oh, she took the commercial. Like,
Right, right.
It was
I
crazy.
did a sample break for that one time. I played that Yuck Mouth and I played Busta Rhymes song. They was like, he got that from there. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, that's where it come from. Yeah, that's crazy.
And that's what I want indie artists to do. I want them to go back and just listen, man. Just pay attention and get that vibe going and be like, oh man, this is this and this is that. And just listen to it because the right song can bring back memories, but the right song can make you feel so good, man. It could be like, oh man, I remember where I was at when this, you know what I'm saying? I remember when I was at when this came out.
Yep. That's how I am. Like, I still, I'm just a music head. I listen to everything. I listen to old stuff. If I could find old stuff that I listened to when I was younger, I'll pull it up, play it now, as well as I'm always hunting for new stuff. You know,
Right.
Constantly searching for something new.
Right, always. You got to keep it fresh, but you also got to remember where you came from. And I think a lot of artists, if they can get that perspective back, I think the music will be a lot better, and it will be longevity within the music business. I think the music will last a little bit longer and not just be so many quick hits. You know what I'm saying? Just quick hits. I want artists to live. I want artists to be able to have their children's children, live off and listen to that music. So, I don't know. I don't know if it takes much to make, and I'm not knocking the song, but it's just like, how much artistry does it take to make Throat Babies? I mean, I'm asking for a friend, so.
Yeah, like, it went there. When I heard this, I said, damn, it went there. You know what I mean? Like, that's saying, like, because the song dope, like, it's dope. Like, he definitely doing his thing on it, and you can't knock it, but, yeah, he is
and
still
it's a
saying
hit.
Throat Baby.
I mean, who am I? It's a hit, right? Who am I?
Right, it is.
I'm sitting here talking about it, but it's a hit, so is he wrong or am I wrong?
But, what's your opinion on... being that you have seen the culture grow, like through like a Eric B. and Rakim, a N.W.A., a LL, into like the native tongues, the commons. We've had who else? We've had the Most Defs.
Most Def,
Then we,
Talib Kweli.
Then we went
Mac
into
10, Ice Cube,
Ice Cube.
Yeah,
who else? We did all the way into like Kanye and the Big Shines and the Meek Mills, and now we're at, I don't know who's the forefront runners. I would, maybe Lil Uzi Verts and
Lil Baby and Dub Baby,
Baby and that kind of vibe. In your opinion, from here, do you see it having, like, continuing that longevity? Like, because remember when we was younger, like, our parents was like, oh, that hip-hop stuff gonna die, it's a fad, it's a phase. Now we watched it go, though. It went way beyond what they said it was gonna do.
Exactly.
And now we're here. Do you think that it's gonna continue to grow and become something bigger, or do you think that it'll just kind of fizzle into this, like lose its fans based on?
I don't think it'll lose its. I don't think it loses fans. I think it's going to evolve. I think what's going to happen is the fans are going to call for more meaningful music, which R&B, and I think R&B is going to come back around again. more prevalent in the next, maybe 4 or 5 years, because people want to make love. They want to talk. They want to, love them on their girl and all that stuff. You can't do that with a lot of this music nowadays. No, like I said, no knocking it, but I think R&B is going to come back around for a little while, and I think that hip hop is going to reset itself. And I hear a lot of that stuff happening now. You hear like even Lil Baby with some of his stuff that he's making. He still does a little bit, but he's getting more, a little bit more straight up, a little bit more correct now with certain things he's doing. He's not doing necessarily. If you listen to his lyrics, he say, "Yeah, I used to be in the streets and do this, do that, but now I do this." You gotta, he's telling about his story, but he's telling it like, "But I'm doing this now, and you need to do this to, better yourself. You can't be in the streets all the time." You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I think that the message in the music is going to become clearer and more poignant, but I also think that it's going to die just a little bit because, it's getting a little bit old for you. Some of the stuff you can't even play on the radio and on FM because you can't hear half of the song because all of it's being bleeped out.
Bleeped out, yeah, like it's
but
crazy.
At the same time, you look at TV now and they're cussing on TV like nothing, like no one's business. So that may happen on radio. You don't know. Mm-hmm. But I think that the genre is going to switch just a little bit. I think R&B is going to come back just a little bit, and then hip hop's going to have a few years to reset itself. It's not going to go away. It's going to change. It's going to like when we changed from conscious music, being from Africa, let's go back to Africa to cussing and all that other stuff to where we are now. I think that it's going to have to evolve again, and the only way it can evolve is because R&B was at the beginning of hip hop, and that's what phased out for hip hop to come. So eventually, hip hop's going to have to phase out for R&B to come back. It's just going to be a continuous cycle. It's like straight legs and bell bottoms. For a while there, bell bottom pants was prevalent, and now we back to straight legs. But we were straight legging before we were bell bottom. Back in the 80s, we straight legged our Levi's, and back in the 70s, they were bell bottom. So it's a continuous cycle. Everything has to cycle through. So it's gonna cycle through. It's gonna reach its point, and then it's gonna drop down for a little bit, and then something else is gonna take over, which I think is gonna be R&B. Then it's gonna come back again, new and fresh. It's never gonna go away though. Hip hop is too much into everything now. You got hip hop and country music. You got hip hop and regular pop music, all that. So even the BTK boy, the Korean pop group has got rapping they stuff, so it's not gonna go anywhere. It's too prevalent. Makes too much money to disappear. But it is gonna reset itself, I think.
Okay. If you're doing a party right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tonight.
Okay.
You don't know who's gonna be there.
Okay.
It could be anybody. Just tell you it's gonna be a mixed crowd, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can only bring 10 records.
Okay.
Which records are you grabbing?
10 records.
Mm-hmm.
Oh Lord. Eric B. and Rakim Paid in Full.
Mm-hmm.
LL Cool J's Radio, because I Need Love's on that. LL Cool J's Radio.
Okay.
I have a house music song called Time to Jack.
Mm-hmm.
I'll bring that.
Okay.
I'll bring Down the Walls, because that's prevalent too. That's another house music song, and I got one more, right? Those are singles. They didn't make albums for house music back then.
But they probably about 15 minutes long, so
yeah, they're 15 minutes. They're easily 15 minutes.
yeah. So that work anyway.
They're easily 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then one more album I would bring would be one more album I would bring would be Earth, Wind, Fire. No, sorry, not Earth, Wind, Fire. Never. No. It would be Stevie Wonder's. I can't think of the name of the damn song. It's like it's Superstition album.
Superstition album.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you. I got you. That's a party right there. You own.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Superstition.
that's dope. That's dope. That's dope. Okay. Now, let's see. I have one more question. Because I asked you who's favorite DJ, favorite. We went through favorite rapper. We said Eric B, and Rakim.
All time favorite.
All time favorite. What else was it? Oh, okay. Favorite, just outside of non hip hop. You know what I mean? Non hip hop artists. Favorite.
Non hip hop artist.
Favorite non hip hop artist.
Favorite non hip hop artist would be a group called Hiatus Coyote. You ever heard of them?
Hell yeah.
Love them. Love that group. Love the keyboard.
Sir.
The keyboard is the truth.
Crazy. and you know, like I listen to them a lot. I don't think I've seen them much.
Okay.
Are they like Asian? Is it an Asian front?
No. She's actually from California, I think.
Okay, I knew they was coming through I didn't know if they was
She has just the way her hairstyle and stuff, she looks like she may be Asian, but no. She's from California. They're from California.
Okay. Man. Yeah.
I love those. I was just listening to my Melodious Monk, that song called Melodious Monk yesterday. I love that stuff, man.
Yeah.
I love that album.
Yeah,
they only had 3 albums though. They haven't made anymore. But
yeah, because I was playing them a few years ago. Like,
right.
I used to do a poetry event in East Atlanta it was at a coffee shop called Cavarna. And I would DJ it, you know, like for like an hour as we kind of set up and the poets come in and stuff like before it start. And man, I play that coyote, that hiatus coyote, and people will be like, "Yo, what is that?" Like, you know what I mean? That's the kind of stuff. I like to find music people haven't heard, but that they enjoy. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I love the keyboards on that. I don't know if you've ever heard his solo. There's a solo he had on one of the songs, and I can't remember the name of the song. I just listened to it yesterday. But he has a solo on one of their songs, and you hear that. I mean, that guy is the truth. The keyboard is just the truth on that group. It's like I ain't never heard nobody play like this before.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of sounds like it's electric, but that's what I'm saying. To me, it has kind of an Asian kind of vibe, like just the keys and where he's at with it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah,
and then there's another group called The Internet. They're pretty dope. I've heard a couple of their songs. But have you ever heard FKYNG?
No, I've heard FKI, but not FKYNG.
It's a group called FK. Maybe FKG and Y. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I'll have to send it to you later. But they play instrumentals, and they play. One plays the guitar, one plays the keyboard, one may play something else. But it's just the vibe that they have going, man. It's like one of them, light a few incense, you know, spark up one and sit back, cut the lights low and listen. You get what I'm saying? Just listen. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's a vibe right there.
Yeah, most definitely a vibe. You just listen, you be like, man, it's right here. Yeah, so.
Yeah, that's what's up. All right, so do you put mixtapes out, or it's just on the radio station, or how you?
I just do mixes on the radio station. I don't do any mixtapes anymore. I just don't have the time. I just don't have the time to set it up and record it and all that stuff. And I might be in the middle of it, and something may happen. I may need to go do something. I have ADD real bad, so I can't just do one thing and concentrate on it. Sometimes I have to do other things at once. Like I'm actually on the computer now while I'm talking to you. So it's like I have to do several things at once. So I have to really dial in when I'm DJing because DJing is my relaxed time, and I don't want to be nervous. I just want to mix whatever I want to mix in there, and then do it. You know, I may mix in, you know, some Beethoven with some hip hop. It just depends on how I feel. You know.
Yeah.
So it just, I like to practice and listen. I like to take the mind to a certain level when I'm mixing, and when I do that, I like to think about, well, how would this sound with this? So I'll do it. You know, and if I'm trying to make a mixtape, I can't do that in front of a mixtape. So if I'm just down here mixing and having a good time, I can stop the song and be like, oh man, how does this make sound? Just like I just did a one I put on Instagram the other day. I mixed a gospel song, John McReynolds with a trap beat just to see how it sounded, and it actually sounded good. So, you know, I just be thinking.
Yeah, that's hot. That's hot. That's what's up, man. Well, yeah, man, I definitely appreciate you coming on here, man, and just kind of kicking it, man. You know what I mean?
I appreciate you having me.
That was dope.
We got to do it again.
Yeah,
real
definitely.
soon.
Definitely,
real
man.
soon.
I want to
real
have
soon.
more like a, I keep telling everybody that, like, I want to start bringing people on more like a group, like I have somebody else on, or like a little forum, and we all kind of kick back and.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely with that.
Yeah, I think that'll be dope.
That'll be hot. Yeah.
For sure. You in the lab now, huh? I see you got the graffiti behind you.
Yeah, that's the board you signed.
That's all I was gonna say. I think I signed that board up there somewhere.
That's the board you signed. This is the Misfits, the Misfits signature board. We know we got a new one now. This one's full. We have a new one, a big one now. So it's about full now. So we got to get a new one. Then I have one. You know, I didn't have this one that I have now with a wall for just DJs to sign now.
Okay, yeah.
No artist can sign that wall. Only DJs can sign that wall.
Just DJs. That's hot. So I gotta come sign that one too.
You gotta come sign this one too.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get y'all to come back in here and vibe out with us on Sundays. Y'all be busy.
Nah, man, we gonna pull up, man. We gonna pull up.
Okay.
Definitely. That's
okay.
Up,
bring
man.
the band. We can set it up over here in the other part and go at it.
Word, I'm with it, man. I'm gonna bring some records out there too, man.
Yes, do that.
Yeah,
do that. We got two. You know, I got 2 sets of turntables, so it ain't no thing. I could be mixing on the computer, and you could be mixing on the tape.
Oh, that's hot. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's do it.
Just hit me up. Let me know when you're ready.
Okay, that's what's up. We on it, man. All right, I appreciate you coming on, man. Definitely.
All right,
salute,
peace
man.
to you.
For sure. In a minute.
Troublesome soul, body covered in gold. The flow is Eureka. Smoke more than I need to give me a reason. Don't give me the beast. And you get that chef, I be your green like a vegan. I'm black and I'm proud on James Brown. Just thinking out loud like Ed Sheeran. No hero, just me. So I talk soup like me so, and back it up like freak so. Leave me be or things blow. I give the pinnacle, mini go brag about selling dope, none of them meaningful. All that they seem to do is sell a drum or two.
I'm just a fool. I'm just a fool. I'm just a fool. I'm just a fool.
Writing these songs ain't righting my wrongs, bearing my soul every word that I'm speaking. Give me a reason, ballin' all week, not just for the week. And now what I smoke so foul, the aroma so strong that it's constantly breathing. Headed to the top, ain't nothing that can stop, but the bottom is where I begin. We can pretend we ain't seeing who's that in my window peeping in on all my secrets. Who's that round that corner creeping, thinking they gon' catch me sleeping, but they'll never catch me though. It's the F and ain't no question, no.
I'm just a fool.